Greetings in the love and light of the one infinite creator. I am Andrii Zvorygin, and I'm joined here today with Bill and Ed and Eric, and we will be reading the December 13th session of the Law of One about the throat chakra and wisdom and planetary ascension and things like that. Okay. Okay, yes, Kuo. How can we consciously balance love and wisdom more harmoniously on the path of service to others? We actually covered this last time. Here, let's just move on. Or do you want to cover it again?
It's only a three paragraphs.
Okay, all right, okay. Sure, let's do it.
I mean, it's getting a rhythm here. I am Kuo and aware of your query, my sister. This is the work of your third density illusion. For you have what many call a kind of intellectual knowledge that could be seen at your level of existence as a wisdom, and yet it has that which lacks wisdom. And that is the limits of your knowledge. For the intellect is confined to the third density illusion. So once you are able to move your heart in an open-hearted way that sees all as the creator in whatever experience you are having, whatever experience you hope to have, this open heart leads you to the fifth density of light, which is the wisdom density that sees beyond all boundaries of the third density illusion. And then in your meditation, look at whatever service you wish to offer, including service in general, and ask that the Creator's love flow through your heart and the Creator's wisdom flow through your heart and become joined in equal nature in that effort that you are making to be of service to others. And then when you come out of meditation, look around and see how you may serve. If you have already decided your service, and approach that service with a feeling of love and wisdom that you have just asked the Creator to give you, and open your intuition, the intuition of your mind and your heart, working together to see the best way to proceed upon your journey of serving others.
Yes. Very potent, good stuff. Anyone have a comment? Ed? Yeah, go ahead, Ed.
I didn't really actually have anything to say.
No.
Yeah, for me, this comes back to what we were saying last week about the kind of the balancing the intellect with the intuition, and finding that mid ground where you obviously learn as much as you can and take in as much information as is possible, but human intellect knowledge always has like a finite line. When you hit that line, the only place to go then is inside, internal, into intuition. And that's where you get those little sparks of inspiration that lead things forward, as it were, and maintain the seeking without relying on the intellect. In fact, using it as a tool to more understand the intuitive stuff rather than, ignoring the intuitive stuff because of the fact that you're, all intellectual and stuff.
And you try to do that with a more and more open heart.
Well, best way to do it at all,
All right. So for a change of pace, we're going to try Grok for the analysis. So it says how to consciously balance love and wisdom for harmonious service to others. In this beautiful channeling, Kuo reveals the balancing love and wisdom is the essential work of third density. Intellectual knowledge alone is limited by the illusions of this realm. True harmony arises when we open our hearts to see all as the Creator, connecting us to the wisdom of fifth density light, to consciously invite both divine love and wisdom to flow equally through us in service. For you have recognized the limits of intellectual wisdom. For you have what many call a kind of intellectual knowledge that could be seen at your level of existence as wisdom, and yet it has that which lacks wisdom, and that is the limits of your knowledge, for the intellect is confined to the third density illusion. Open your heart to see all as the Creator. Once you are able to move your heart in an open-hearted way that sees all as the Creator, in whatever experience you are having. This open heart leads you to the fifth density of light, which is the wisdom density that sees beyond all boundaries of the third density illusion. It's true. Because you feel the feelings of all that is. Invoke balanced love and wisdom in meditation. In your meditation, look at whatever service you wish to offer and ask that the Creator's love flow through your heart and the Creator's wisdom flow through your heart and become joined in equal nature in that effort that you are making to be of service to others. Live the balance with unified intuition. When you come out of meditation, look around you and see how you may serve. Approach that service with a feeling of love and wisdom that you have just asked the Creator to give you, and open your intuition, the intuition of your mind and your heart working together to see the best way to proceed upon your journey of serving others. All right, well, I guess Grok decided to do a very kind of raw cut for us.
I actually had something else to say.
Go ahead.
This brings me to the whole kind of love, power, wisdom thing that Ra always talks about. So they're talking about balancing love and wisdom, right? So that's the kind of like the 2 points, but you balance those 2 with power. So that's the third point in that trinity, in it, love, power, wisdom. So I'm assuming it would come down to learning how to be of service and how to do the white magician work, you know, and how to use that power in a wise way, by understanding that it's all love and compassion, and the correct use of that power is wisdom.
Well, the power is going to be used to serve others or serve the self. And that's what's going on.
Yeah, balancing love and wisdom is what gives us that power. Okay, so reflections for the seeker. This teaching feels particularly timely. Oh yeah, many spiritually oriented people naturally lean towards one side, either pouring out, hey Ray, unconditional love without boundaries, or analyzing situations with sharp intellectual wisdom, but lacking warmth and compassion. Kuo offers a graceful middle path. By regularly inviting the Creator's love and wisdom to merge within the heart during meditation, we begin to embody a more mature, balanced form of service. The real magic happens when we step out of meditation and allow this unified energy to guide our intuition. Over time, this practice reduces burnout, prevents well-intentioned mistakes, and makes our service feel lighter, more effective, and more joyful. It transforms the path from effortful striving into a natural, heart-centered flow. All right. Did anyone have any more commentary on that, or should we move on? Eric, I don't know if you wanted to say anything. Okay. I guess we will follow up then. I would like to follow up with a query in regards to chakras. So our 4th chakra is our love, our heart. Our 6th chakra is our wisdom, our third eye. And in between, there's that throat chakra, and I find that to be one that often causes me blockage, trouble. Wondering if there are ways or what suggestions you may have about that 5th chakra.
I'm Kuo.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm Kuo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. The throat chakra is that center of your energy that can produce the wisdom that you see in the world around you, that comes from looking at the world around you from a place out in outer space, shall we say, so that you get an overview to see how the third density illusion moves in lack of harmony with seeing the Creator in all beings. The ability to see the Creator in yourself, in your throat chakra, and seeing the Creator in all others from that overview is one way of accessing more of the wisdom that you may use in living your daily life and whatever you do, whatever you think, whatever you say, whatever you are. This is a path which must be taken by one who has opened its heart in love and service to others at least 51% of what you call time. For the heart must be open before wisdom may be accessed. So when it is open, you may see the balance of love and wisdom within your being, so that you serve and say to others, so that what you serve and say to others is reflected back to you as that which is appropriate, and the way that you can move in service to others in a balanced fashion.
All right. So I don't know if anyone wanted to comment on that. Okay, I'm gonna try to get these agents to give us a little bit more feedback. Okay, I'll try another post with this one, but I'm doing the quotes. Also add some of your own commentary to help people better understand the quote and how it applies to their life.
It was interesting how they said in space.
In space, yes, yes, exactly. From outer space, because the bird's eye view.
Yeah, it's trying to get to us in part that there's a huge perspective that we can take on this. The very long view.
Mm-hmm. So Ku teaches
cool description, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's always generating the same image for some reason. Ku teaches the fifth chakra, throat, is where we access a higher bird's eye view of reality and express balanced wisdom. However, this center only functions properly and safely once the fourth chakra, heart, has been opened to at least 51% service to others polarity. From this foundation, love and wisdom can merge, allowing our words and actions to become truly effective and harmonious. The message is gold for anyone who struggles with authentic self-expression, fear of speaking up, or saying things that later feel either too harsh or too vague. Ku reminds us that the throat chakra is not meant to be forced upon open on its own. It naturally clears and strengthens when the heart is genuinely open. This creates a beautiful synergy, loving intention guided by higher wisdom. The throat chakra gives a higher overview. The throat chakra is that center of your energy that can produce the wisdom that you see in the world around you, that comes from looking at the world around you from a place in outer space, shall we say, so that you get an overview to see how the third density illusion moves in a lack of harmony with seeing the creator in all things. The commentary. This outer space perspective is incredibly useful in daily life. When emotions run high or you feel blocked in speaking your truth, consciously rise above the situation and ask, from a higher view, where is the creator in this? It instantly reduces reactivity, dissolves drama, and lets your words flow with calm clarity instead of being swept up in 3D chess. The heart must lead. Openness comes first. This is a path which must be taken by one who has opened its heart in love and service to others, at least 50% of what you call time, for the heart must be opened before wisdom may be accessed. From the commentary. This is a beautiful spiritual protection built right into the process. Trying to wield wisdom or speak higher truths without enough love in the heart often results in intellectual arrogance, cold attachment, or even unintended harm. Keep checking in. Am I coming from a genuine care right now? When your heart is sufficiently open through daily acts of service, wisdom arrives as a gentle, helpful ally rather than a sharp or blocked tool. And yeah, feel free to jump in, anyone, if it resonates. True balance creates natural, appropriate service. When it is open, you may see the balance of love and wisdom within your being, so that what you serve and say to others is reflected back to you as that which is appropriate, and the way that you can move in service to others in a balanced fashion. This is a delicious fruit of the patience. Your communication and service suddenly feel effortless and harmonious. People receive your words as both deeply kind and insightful. You'll notice better timing, less resistance, more synchronicities, and a sense that life is gently confirming, yes, this is right. Simple daily practice. Before speaking, writing, posting, or offering service, place one hand on your heart and one on your throat. Take 3 slow breaths and silently ask, let the Creator's love and wisdom flow through me in perfect balance for the highest good of all. How is your throat chakra showing up in your life lately? Do you tend to hold back your voice or sometimes speak too quickly without enough wisdom? Okay. Anyways, that's the commentary. I'd love to hear your reflections below. Yes. I don't know if that
I think that when they say space, it means more than what the AI caught on to. But
okay. Tell us how you feel about it.
it could very well be that they're giving us a clue about where consciousness comes from, because it doesn't come from the mind. I think even science would agree with that our consciousness comes from outside of us,
Okay.
and it could come from a literally place called space.
Yes. Yes, I
Dude,
think
can't
you're
get what
right.
you mean. Because obviously it's beamed in. So where's it beamed from? And if they're watching from up there, beaming into us here, then by tuning into that, you should be able to get that intuitional overview understanding from where they are before they beam into us. Dude, I like that. That's fucking cool, man.
But at the same time, it's a paradox because nothing's really beamed into us or put into us because we are the creator,
Oh
basically
yeah.
split itself all into creation. So all of us are this little piece of the creator. It's not like we're a spark or a part of. We are the creator. So it's a paradox. So you
Hmm.
know, and
But we all are, dude. All of us
yeah,
are. That means
yeah,
Exactly.
we're equally connected. All of us there's
yeah,
one. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
That
that's
yeah. It's still kind of all creator beamed into all of us. Some
yeah.
regard.
Well, it. Yeah, like I said, I don't see it as being. It's just what we are. Like I am.
Yes,
You are.
This
correct.
reminds me of Dolores Cannon, and like she was like trying to, like during her regressions at some point, she was asking people like, so what are you like really on like a deep foundation, like what are you at the very core of your being, and most people came to the conclusion that they were a spark. So you used the same word, and it just reminded me. So yeah, and that spark is the infinite creation, because the fact is that almost everything is empty space. So it's all an illusion.
There's no such thing as empty space, dude. It's a plenum. That's the
Okay, you
illusion.
call it a plenum, whatever. We have different terms, but it means the same thing.
Ra said it. Ra said it outright. There's no such thing as empty space anywhere.
Okay,
It's
yes.
a plenum.
It's all infinity. But
Oh,
we characterize different parts of infinity differently.
We
well,
don't.
as far as that goes, it goes back to Ra's original statement. Took you thought today? What thoughts did you think today? Did the creation abide? So there's more to it than just the fact that they say space. It's just a clue, um, because the fact is most likely that consciousness comes from outside of us somehow, and we control it with our free will. We control what we bring in, and that's what this is about. That's kind of what I'm saying.
I see. I know I have like there's obviously in the Buddhist thought, but even scientists say that, and some of the Confederation has led me to believe that we experience our thoughts. They're not like I'm thinking this. I'm experiencing this thought going through my head is the most accurate for the vast majority of thoughts in our head, and they arise through our vibration and alignment to different.
I agree. All I can say is that if you look at the studies, the actual kind of neuroscience fMRI studies, you can see a clear change between the time that you're thinking, where the stimulus all comes in, whatever else, and then the areas of the cortex that store memory, they light up in different patterns, right? And then after that process happens, it then goes to either the visual or the auditory cortex, and it's turned into something that you can then perceive and understand. So then that means that you actually have no part in thinking. Essentially, those pits that you think of as doing the number crunching, no, they're just being activated. And then that is then converted into something that you explain to yourself in your head. That's why you experience the thoughts. That's why they are vibrational things that we interact with. But that's all what Ra says, and that's what neuroscience is showing. It's beamed in from somewhere. Or we interact with thought in a very different way to what we think we do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way that we interact with it is we choose it with our free will. Imagine a million thoughts rising above your head. You decide that, I'm going to choose this one. And in a way, it is you thinking, because if you're pulling something in, it's based on what you want, right? So I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, but the way I agree with you, I would just like to add the clarification that the way that you choose is through what you are or your vibration, because that is kind of like imagine like you're in a cloud, right? Or like there's different strata or streams of this cloud, and if you like go lower, you will experience a different kind of wind pattern and different things in that cloud than if you go into a higher strata with a different vibration. If you're, say, vibrating at a space of just physical experiences, then you're going to have thoughts about physical experiences. But if you're vibrating at a state of thinking about computer programming all the time, or like being computer programming, then what you're going to think about and experience is computer programming related thoughts.
Yeah, so there's basically there's three distinct bits of your brain that organize how you kind of process stuff. Yeah, you've got the Rex or Rax, which is basically like you could call it like the search engine. It basically like it finds where everything, whatever, it works out what all the information means, right? Then you've got the default node network, which is basically kind of like how you store how you react to things. Right, so it's always looking for those things to keep you alive, to keep whatever. And then you've got the amygdala that's kind of, is this safe or not, right? So the layer upon layer effect of those three is kind of how you base whether you're thinking the right thing or not in whatever you do. So all of those things, they all kind of react to this thing that if you're thinking, say, positive things, right, then the Rex network will essentially hunt down positive things. Right, and then if you start, once you start experiencing those positive things, then the default node network will then start like looking for more positive things in life, and then the amygdala will get turned off because of the fact that you're getting these positive things turned up. Whereas if you think the other way and you think negative stuff, that whole system works in reverse. And this is like the basis of manifestation. This is like what we're talking about. You put yourself into the vibratory state to attract the things you want to you. So then thinking in a shit way yeah, the first thing it's going to do is program your brain to start thinking more shit, to start looking for the shit in the world, for thinking that everything's going to be shit, right? And then that ends up knocking on knock-on effects that you end up manifesting a load of shit in your life. Whereas you go the other way, positive affirmations, these are the things building yourself up, you know, all of that stuff. Then the knock-on effect is that you'll end up building your life up, right? So it's like the same systems apply at all levels, you know, like how your brain works is the same way your life works. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Ed, for that in-depth explanation.
I give it to you all trying to describe in words what that is.
All right. Maybe we should go on to the next one. Yes. Kuo, this is from S. I'm curious about a place graduating into a third density entity. Does that result in a different personality or different preoccupations or goals in that person's life, or change how the person has or views relationships? Bill? Bill, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you gonna?
Okay, I had to unmute myself.
Okay.
I am Kuo, and we must ask if you are referring to a third density being becoming a third density being, or a second density being becoming a third density being.
Yes, I believe she's referring to the last time we were here. The one known as Jim was referring to the way that a home, such as this one, may be able to graduate. And so I believe what she's referring to is whether being able to engender or being able to bring a site or a place into a further state of advancement would shift the thinking of not just that site, but the person who may be dwelling there, the person that may have pushed that forward with that site. Does that make sense?
I am Kuo, and yes, my brother, this does indeed make sense. For a place or a site such as this home, was spoken of by those of Ra, has a third type of being that may be invested with the love of those who inhabit that home, so that it may become a third density being. This particular home, as many know, was already blessed before anyone moved here in 1984, when those known as Don, Carla, and Jim moved here. So there was already the blessing of this home at that time, and this blessing of love has continued over the years as groups such as this group, which sits in this circle at this time, have met so many hundreds of times and brought their love and light to this home, imbued it with love and light, so that it is very possible that this home could have become or shall become a third density being and move in its next incarnation into a third density planet, or other than this planet that you now exist upon. For there is very little time left within its third density experience.
Fair enough. Yeah.
So the home can turn into
A
being.
third density being, but it will most likely incarnate on a different planet. So that's cool. No, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, isn't that cool? I wonder what Grok will think about that. Okay.
So we're
anyone
talking
go ahead?
Inanimate objects graduating to a higher density.
Yes, exactly. So this was mentioned earlier. Okay, now make one for this.
Yeah, I've never heard that concept.
Oh,
yeah,
you have?
We're really getting into far out shit here.
Yeah, well, it was mentioned in the Law of One. Basically, even first density beings can graduate if they're given enough love during their incarnation. But
yeah, but we were thinking like trees, animals.
No, first density. So like a totem,
yeah,
like a statue.
Yeah. But we would think they would have to go to the second density.
Oh
too.
yeah. No, well, I guess they're saying third density here, because I think that second density would be a more kind of natural progression, but I think that given enough love and light, they would just go all the way to third. So here we go. Kuo, can your home become a third density being? The sacred power of love filled spaces. Ku explains that physical places, especially homes, can evolve into third density beings when consistently infused with love and light. This particular home was already blessed in 1984 and has been further charged through decades of group meditations and loving gatherings, making it likely to graduate and incarnate on another third density planet. This teaching is profoundly beautiful. It shows that our love doesn't stop at people, it can literally awaken and evolve the spaces we live in. When we pour genuine care into a home over years, we create a conscious living partner on the spiritual path. This naturally shifts how we view our living spaces. It becomes more than shelter. Our daily preoccupations may gently turn towards sacred stewardship. Our relationships with the environment deepen, and we feel a warm, supportive personality growing in return. Key points for seekers. Places can become third density beings. A place or a site, such as this home, was spoken of by those of Ra as a third type of being that may be invested with love of those who inhabit that home so that it may become a third density being. Hey, Ashley. Thanks for joining. Your home is far more than walls and a roof. With sustained love and intention, it can develop its own consciousness and a spiritual journey, just like humans or animals. This explains why some spaces feel warm, alive, and healing, while others feel empty. Treating your home as a conscious partner changes how you relate to it and deepens your sense of belonging. Consistent love and light over time makes it possible. This blessing of love has continued over the years as groups such as this group have met so many hundreds of times and brought their love and light to this home, imbued it with that love and light so that it is very possible that this home could have become or shall become a third density being. Spiritual evolution of a space happens gradually through repetition. Every meditation, joyful meal, gratitude practice, or loving conversation adds to its energy field. If you've ever felt a house welcome you or hold a special presence, you've experienced this accumulated love in action. Graduation to a new planetary journey. It is possible that this home could move in its next incarnation to a third density planet other than this planet, for there's very little time left within its third density experience. Just like people, highly activated homes can graduate and continue evolving on another third density world. This gives beautiful meaning to the idea of legacy. The love you pour in now may travel far beyond this lifetime and support new souls on other paths. Each time you enter or leave your home, pause, place your heart on a wall or door, and say silently or aloud, I fill you with the Creator's love and light. Thank you for sheltering and supporting me. May you grow in the love of the one infinite Creator. Watch how this energy and personality of your space gently shifts over weeks and months. How does your current living space feel to you energetically? Have you ever sensed a special presence or personality in a home or place of land? Share your experiences below. Well, anyways. Or you could share your experiences out loud if anyone has any comments on that.
Yeah, my plot definitely is an entity. 100% of like knowing that for like ages. Either that or there's like some kind of something that lives there that makes the place seem like that. But it's its own little microcosm universe, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I know exactly what it's about. I mean, Fred's surely the best person to speak about this. Fred's house could basically just get up and wander about if it tried.
I don't know about that, but I mean that makes sense. The way they describe that, Hawaii. Some people, like the first time I've seen several times where people have come to my house the first time, and usually within a short period of time, something gets said along like, I feel so comfortable here. It feels so cozy here. I just want to take a nap. I feel like it's homey, like real homey feeling. And I wonder if that's because of that.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Well, it gives real estate a whole new level. And I guess what it really shows is that everything is alive with the creator, if it's an animate object or not. And depending on how much love and light we put on it, into it, it would become even more alive with the creator, which would also show that we can do the opposite as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So,
true.
and
That's true.
I think like all of this is like alchemy we're chatting about here. Like, you know, the whole point of alchemy is you take a base substance and you purify it, and you purify it until you end up extracting, you know, gold or whatever. You know, the idea is that you can do that with anything. You can do that with a plant, you can do it with a rock, you can do that with anything. And it doesn't have to be a process of chemistry. It can be a process of literally putting love into it, putting intention into it, building it up as a metaphysical entity, even though it's just object. You know, that's how like a totem would work, or, you know, fetish or whatever it was called. Like that idea that by putting all that the energy into that inanimate object, you change it. It ends up being more alive with the creator's beingness because of all the energy that you put into it. So yeah, I've firmly believed all this. This comes down to the shamanic things as well. You know, like you go back basically worldwide, everyone at some point believed that all the trees were alive and all the rocks were alive and all like the animals were alive.
Animism. Yeah, that's the only universal religion.
Exactly. Animism is the thing that started all of it. So if anything, I think we've just forgot stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I think children just are naturally animist. if I remember correctly, the research on it.
Well, this would change your whole perspective on actually what an object is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really an object if it's imbued with the creator?
Yeah, it is the creator.
That's how we describe things. That's how we use our words. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, like everything in language is clumsy and not precise.
Yep, 100%. You know, like I've always kind of thought this, like it comes down to the panpsychism. You know, that the quanta of intelligence. You know, that you might think of like a photon as a little packet of light or whatever, but arguably that is just a little packet of information. You know, and that little bit of light shooting along is actually a little tiny piece of intelligence, of consciousness. You know.
Yeah, well,
then,
Ra would call it intelligent energy.
Exactly, intelligent infinity shaping intelligent energy. You know, those things there are the basis that makes light, makes everything. You know, the interaction. So, yeah.
Well, it makes the illusion so the creators can experience itself.
That's it. But we speak about the illusion, like, you know, like the atom over there is an illusion. No, that atom over there is the creator experiencing creation. You know, that atom is alive as much as every single construct made from them. You know, the observer effect works at all levels. It's not just us looking at it that keeps it in reality. The atoms looking at each other keeps it in reality.
Yes. For sure. Yeah, because you know, like
it's still an illusion because it's not really the creator. It is the creator, but it's like the creator's playground for experience.
There is no separation, dude. The creator is the creation. The creation is the creator.
Every time a photon
all the way down
hits an atom,
that's linguistics once again.
It announces its presence and says, "I am alive," by reflecting that photon and changing it.
Vibration, man. Intelligence is vibration. By absorbing that photon, and bouncing off another one, emitting a different one. That is
Exactly.
it changing fundamentally via vibration, the same way
Exactly.
we do.
It's
We're talking
announcing
about thought.
its presence as a being. Exactly. All right, cool. I do have a question. I feel honored to be in the presence of those and to receive these teachings and wisdom from you and the principle of Kuo, and I thank you for that. My question is, when I'm receiving teachings from other beings interdimensional, they always identify themselves as from I am, from the density of love and understanding, or from the density of unity, which I take to be the sixth density and those Arcturian teachings, but of late, what has been included were of the density of unity and oneness, and I take that to be inclusive of other realms, and I'm trying to be more diligent to understand what this expansion of the concept of oneness is in relationship to the densities, and I'm wondering if you could clarify in any way for me. Thank you.
We are those of Kuo and our sister. It is our honor to have this rare and precious opportunity to commingle with those outside of our realms of experience. Those undertaking the, shall we say, most challenging and rewarding aspects of the journey through this octave within the third density. We thank you and understand your question to be examining the experience or awareness of oneness as one moves through the densities. That is, what is the experience of oneness from the fourth or the fifth or the sixth density perspective and so forth? Is that the gist of your question, our sister?
Yes, it is cool. And in addition, I feel that it's an expansion, for instance, the mind, body, spirit, beingness, totality. I feel as if the totality concept of the beingness of being is represented in the density of oneness, which would include devas, angels, guardians, lord of karma, all those outside of the sixth density. It seems to be an expansion to the totality of six densities. Am I correct in my direction, thinking, or perceiving?
We are those of Kuo and would say that this is indeed fruitful for your consideration. However, regarding the various terminologies which you have used, it is difficult to formulate one system that would create an ontological framework that would be universal and work for all beings. For the terms applied to the citizens of the various densities and realms of consciousness vary, as do the third density entities' experience of those entities in their interpretation of the love and the light that they emanate and the source from which they seem to be communicating. An angel, as it were, could be taken to be an entity that is any entity who is of a non physical and loving nature, which could be of your own inner planes or that of the fourth or fifth or higher densities and so forth, as with the other terms which you have used. You have cited a specific entity, that of the mind body spirit complex totality. And that is, we can say within our framework of understanding, that entity which resides within the seventh density. It may be likened to that which in your Eastern teaching is described as the Atman. It is the fullness, the totality, the wholeness of the individual and its total journey through its many incarnations, parallel existences, space time and time space journeys through all densities, all energy levels, and so forth. You are correct in the assumption that as the entity progresses, so too does their scope and depth and lived experience of oneness broaden and deepen. It is, in a way, a recovery or a remembering or a rediscovering of that which was seemingly lost to the self. For all along the self had been through every step of the journey from the very rudimentary and fundamental first density to that density to which words fail completely. The seventh density, always one, always the creator playing a game of forgetting itself and having the great joy and honor of charting a pathway toward this rediscovering, or as this instrument was describing it earlier, coming home, whereby aspects of the self which were hidden or out of view are reintegrated back into the heart, into the increasingly unified and crystallized and one-pointed being, such as the sense of self continues to expand and expand and expand to include not only all aspects with the mind-body-spirit complex, but all entities of that focal point of awareness's group or planet, and indeed ultimately universe itself, such that all things are seen and recognized as self, as one.
All right. Well, that was a longer one.
I have no idea if he actually answered her question at all.
I think he did.
I can answer it. One sentence. There is no such thing as a silver bullet.
She made the question too broad.
Well,
it's basically saying that there's no one methodology, no one thing that's going to work for every single person.
I think that her question is she was trying to figure out if she was speaking to people that were higher density than the sixth, and the answer was yes.
But that's the thing, though, is once they're in the seventh density, they don't look back, do they?
No. That's like ninth density or something. No, it's because Kuo explains in another thing that when you're walking the steps of light, there are seventh density entities standing on the density boundaries, seeing how far you come, how close you are to the light, and the light is generated by an eighth density entity, and the Council of Saturn is made up of eighth density entities. So thus, they obviously have a continued consciousness in the eighth density.
Okay, but the way they describe it is, that you get to seventh, everyone just kind of merges and you kind of lose yourself, right? And then everyone kind of recombines into like a super mega like super memory complex, like the nine, apparently are like a ninth of the universal consciousness each. So they're like 9 parts of, and then they're basically like all projected everywhere all over the universe, like all at the same time, kind of thing. That's how they kind of describe it anyway. So yeah, they're like ninth density, and they're basically big chunks of God, basically.
Yeah, I can't speak to the 9, but I can say that I have my own framework where 9th density would be like referring to planets, and then 10th density would be galaxies, and 11th density would be galactic clusters.
I thought that the 9th density would be from elsewhere. In other words, from a different reality.
Well,
it would be a new octave.
Density. Well, right. Actually, 13th density. Well, 12th density is a universe, and then 13th density would be a collection of universes. So basically, you get to. The way that I see it is that it's actually on a mathematical perspective, 6 is the critical number, and because you can divide by 2 and by 3, and it just has more beautiful ratios. And so we're like half of 6, like we're the third, and the main.
No. 9 has the beautiful ratios. 3 and 6 create an endless loop.
Well, no, 6 is considered the best base for doing mathematics, because you get the fewest number of repeating decimals.
I agree, but that comes down to working between 1 and 9, and then 6 is that's the perfect math.
Yeah,
basically.
So I would agree.
But still, 9 would be a number of completion, making it the best number. But 9 only does anything with itself. You always end up with 9, whereas 3 and 6 end up swapping backwards and forwards with one another. It's great math, though. I agree.
Yeah, the odd numbers have, are more introverted than the even numbers. Like, because in third density we are, separated from the creator, and we are figuring out ourselves. Same thing in first density. We, as a rock, you're just aware of yourself and what's happening to you. Whereas second density, it's about being part of a collective hive mind. Right? Third density, you're individual again. Fourth density, you're part of a social memory complex, and you're again part of a hive of sorts. And then fifth density, you're alone, and you're figuring things out, because in fifth density you're like doing all of this research and things like that. So but the service to self, they're completely alone, but with the service to others, they get together for praising God occasionally, maybe weekly. I don't know exactly the schedule. I guess it depends. And then sixth density, again, it's more outgoing, because you are trying to progress, and so you end up doing a lot of incarnating in order to help others, because you're learning to balance love and wisdom. And so you're incarnating into third density, and you're helping the third density people out of sixth density.
Those sound like pretty good guesses.
Thanks. And then seventh density, well, just like Ra described, again, it's about personal integration. It's about the integration of one person across all their parallel lifetimes into one being.
Right.
And then eighth density, again, you've got the Council of Saturn, and they're being of service to others and forming groups. So you've got this kind of pattern going. Ninth density planet, and so on. Oh, right. 10th density was star. That's what it was. 11th was galaxy.
It's pretty awesome. You got this all figured out in third density.
Well, I remember many, over 100 million years of past lives. So, anyways, Kuo affirms that the fullness of being, the mind-body-spirit complex totality, resides in seventh density and represents the complete wholeness of your entire journey across all densities, incarnations, and realities. It is like the Atman, the one infinite creator, playfully forgetting itself so it can joyfully rediscover and return home, expanding until all is recognized as self. Reflections for the seeker. This teaching is one of the most liberating and comforting in the law of one. It gently reminds us that we are never truly lost or incomplete. We are simply in the middle of the Creator's favorite game, hide and seek with itself. Every moment of confusion, every flash of unity, every act of love is part of this magnificent expansion. Your higher self isn't distant. It is the fully integrated you, already whole and waiting to welcome every forgotten part back home. Key points for seekers. Terminology is flexible. Focus on loving essence. It is difficult to formulate one system that would create an ontological framework that would be universal. An angel, as it were, could be taken to be any entity. Yes. Stop worrying about getting the right label for guides, devas, angels, or guardians. What matters is their vibration of love and light. This frees you to receive help from wherever it comes without rigid spiritual boxes. Mind, body, spirit, totality is your complete self in seventh density. You have cited a specific entity, that of the mind, body, spirit complex totality, and that is the entity which resides within the seventh density. It may be likened to that which in your Eastern teaching is described as the Atman. It is the fullness, the totality, the wholeness of the individual and its total journey through its many incarnations. This is the ultimate version of you. Every lifetime, every parallel path, every lesson fully integrated, connecting with this totality brings instant peace, because it proves nothing has been wasted and you are already complete. That's a good message. Thanks, Grok. The spiritual path is a joyful game of forgetting and remembering. It is, in a way, a recovery or a remembering or rediscovery of that which was seemingly lost to the self. For all along, the self has been always one, the creator playing a game of forgetting itself and having the great joy of charting a path forward towards this rediscovery, coming home. Every time you feel lost or overwhelmed, remember, this is intentional. The forgetting creates the space for the sweetest homecoming. Your longing to understand oneness is the creator waking up inside you. Your sense of self keeps expanding until all is self. The sense of self continues to expand and expand and expand to include not only all aspects within the mind-body-spirit complex, but all entities of the focal point of awareness, group, or planet, and indeed ultimately universe itself, such that all things are seen and recognize the self as one. My commentary, this is the ultimate measuring stick of growth. How much can you include as me without losing your center? Start with your own shadow parts, then difficult people, then nature, then the whole cosmos. Simple daily practice. Sit quietly and slowly repeat, I am the one infinite creator, remembering itself. I welcome more of my totality home now. With each breath, feel your awareness softly expand, from your body to your room, to your community, to the earth and beyond. How does the idea of your full mind, body, spirit totality feel to you? Have you had moments of sudden expansion or a deep sense of coming home? Feel free to share your experiences. All right. Yeah, it's good. Okay. Now, I guess we'll move on to the next one. Unless someone wants to say anything. Okay, I guess we're moving on. Thank you for the comprehensive response, putting it into context, refamiliarizing. Okay, is there another query? Yes, Kuo. In session 68 of the Raw Contact, we learned that a couple of days before Carla was slipping into a trance in order to contact Ra and had to be saved by Latwi from an Orion entity which was waiting to snatch her spirit and bring about the end of her life. Why did this happen? Because she called on Ra at the wrong time without the right configuration and protection. My question is whether we, who are subjects of the law of one and trying to be adepts, can also be subject to greeting by negative entities if we have the wrong thought at the wrong time. I realize we are not calling on Ra and we aren't Carla, but maybe we aren't worthy of this level of attention. But in our everyday life, if we call on you, Kuo, or our guides, or other positive entities at the wrong time, can we also get into trouble? How do we protect or prepare ourselves beforehand?
Hey, before I read this, if you go to session 68 and look at the date, it actually, they do have the session where this happened. So if you ever read it, it explains a lot. I mean, so kind of her first question in the first paragraph was says, why did this happen? It explicitly says that in that Kuo, that or whatever. No, it wasn't a Kuo, it was something else, but it was right before, it was right, I think 68 was on a Sunday or a Saturday, and then the Wednesday before, something like that, or whatever, the Monday, it had that session.
I remember.
So it explains it pretty well.
I remember, and I actually remember I remember several references to this throughout the material. And so what they were saying, at least in those earlier answers, I'm not sure what they're going to say here, but was that she's just like super kind of, I don't know if naive is the best term, but super trusting. And so she was just used to what would happen is that when she would go into trance, then Ra would come to her and lead her away.
Well, what actually, you're kind of not explaining it right. What was happening was she was asked a question, and in her search, in her channeling for the question, she thought to herself, "Oh, Ra would be able to answer this question better." And so when she had that thought of Ra answering that question better, she started to slip into trance.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Instead of doing the channeling. If you go and read it, that's kind of what she says.
Yeah, we may have been reading different aspects because like I said, they've addressed this multiple times throughout.
No, but this is a very specific session with Latwi kind of pulling her ass out of the fire.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
No, I just know because I recently went over this.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
All right. We are those of Quo, and we thank you for this query, our brother. Indeed, you are right to note the singular nature of the raw contact experience, for it is not one that will, in all probability, be replicated in your or virtually any other entity's journey upon your world. It may be likened unto the rigors and precise parameters of attempting to leave or rather escape your orbit in order to enter into space, a venture that has much less margin for error. And thus, its prerequisites must be precise and fulfilled in order to be undertaken safely and successfully. However, as to the broader question of the negative greeting, indeed, this is the case for all entities polarizing positively, whether or not they are involved in channeling or are calling upon higher beings. It is baked into the fabric of third density that all progress upward in seeking the creator and activating the higher chakras and working with greater awareness alerts those of the negative path that a challenge may be offered to the entity seeking to progress. This, from one perspective, may be seem to be unfortunate for the entity on the receiving end of the negative greeting due to the challenge or pain or hardship or intensification of catalyst that it brings. But we would ask you, our friends, to zoom out for a moment to see what, from the larger perspective, is not only the benign but beneficial aspect of the negative greeting, in that it allows the progress to be tested, to be challenged in order to give the positively polarizing entity the opportunity to declare themselves, to own, shall we say, their movement and their choices and their intentions. This test or challenge or friction or pushback gives the entity the opportunity to release their previous understanding or modality to move through the difficulty that they may become that which they seek. And this test requires of the positive entity that they live those values that they seek. That is, for the entity seeking on a positive path, that they act and be loving, that they open their heart and practice acceptance. For in your illusion, where your perception is quite limited, and it is easy to believe about the self that which is not quite true, one can operate from a position of pretense, or perhaps even sincerely giving lip service to positive ideals, but not fully embodying them, perhaps, and most likely due to an unconscious awareness of the shadow within oneself, one of the judgments that the self holds towards others of the various mental mechanisms within the mind that keep the awareness separate from others. There are countless ways that this operates. The negative greeting in the circumstance targets the inner blockages or imbalances or shadow side, bringing the self's attention to those aspects of the self as the work of the highlighter, so that self may become aware of that which is unintegrating or unloved or unprocessed or unhealed, and thus diligently bring their attention to this catalyst that they may reveal its gifts for the self, that the self may become more whole and grow upon this journey. You use the adjective wrong, has in wrong thought and wrong time. Certainly, in certain practices, such as that of the white magic, timing, correct performance of ritual, and so forth, are important as with any other practice that has high stakes. But in the general course of the incarnational journey, this notion of wrong versus right may be less helpful metric for the self. Certainly, there is that which is wrong for the self and that which is felt to be right. But a more helpful metric may be that of those thoughts or actions or mindsets that are loving versus those that are not loving, or those that are of the light and those that are not, and so forth. To conclude our response, whatever the case may be, we would encourage the positive seeker to, insofar as is possible, move forward fearlessly, to not let the mind be saddled with worry or fear or paranoia about challenges or threats or lurking around any corners, be they of the mind or of the life's landscape. For this fear is itself a grand invitation and opening for those of the negative polarity to interact with the positive entity and to seed, often very subtly so, thoughts within the mind and energy field that lead to separation, that lead to isolation, that would lead to further misapprehension of the moment of the self and other selves, which is to say, exercise faith, our friends.
All right, awesome. Thank you. That was a long one.
It was.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Love that bit at the end there. Like, you know, fear is the worst thing to bring into any of these kind of situations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is fair.
And they always say that love is the only protection needed.
Yep. And gratitude, which is, I guess, a form of love. But I find it's one of the most powerful tools that we have.
They also talk of praising the light.
Praising the light. There you go. Praising the light. I see the divine within you. We are all one being. That's one of my, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are all one. Those are my positive greetings when I'm feeling a negative greeting. And it usually dissipates very quickly. I don't know if anyone has any of their own to share. Kuo reassures that while negative greetings are a natural part of third density growth for every positive seeker, they are not the ultra-precise danger of the raw contact. These challenges are actually helpful highlighters that illuminate our shadow blockages and unloving patterns so we can integrate them, strengthen our polarity, and truly embody love. The greatest protection? Moving forward fearlessly with faith, because fear itself is the realm of invitation for negative influence. This is one of the most empowering and comforting teachings in the Law of One. Many of us secretly worry, if I have one-off moment thought, am I opening the door to trouble? Kuo gently flips the script. These greetings aren't punishments, they are opportunities. They show us exactly where we still need to love ourselves and others more fully. The moment we stop fearing them and start seeing them as loving catalysts, their power to disturb us dissolves. Key points for seekers. Negative greetings are normal for all positive seekers. As to the broader question of negative greeting, indeed, this is the case for all entities polarizing positively. It is baked into the fabric of third density that all progress upward alerts those of the negative path that a challenge may be offered. My commentary: you don't have to be Carla or channeling Ra to receive them. Simply seeking, meditating, opening your heart, and trying to be of service puts you on the radar. This is not bad news. It means you're making real progress. They serve a beautiful purpose, testing and integration. The negative greeting allows the progress to be tested, giving the positively polarized entity the opportunity to declare themselves. And this test requires the positive entity that they live those values that they seek. That is, they act and be loving, that they open their heart and practice acceptance. Every time negativity knocks, it's asking, are you really the love that you say you are? When you respond with acceptance instead of fear or anger, you crystallize your positive polarity and become more whole. The negative greeting targets the inner blockages or imbalances or shadow side. bringing the self's attention to those aspects of the self as the work of the highlighter, so that the self may become aware of that which is unintegrated or unloved or unhealed. The sudden wave of self-judgment, irritation, or doubt after good meditation, often a greeting, shining a light on something ready to be loved. Thank it, look at it gently, and integrate. That's the fast track to adeptship. That's a good one. Fear is the only real doorway. Faith is the shield. We would encourage the positive seeker to, insofar as it is possible, move forward fearlessly. Do not let the mind be saddled with worry and fear and paranoia, for this fear is itself a grand invitation, which is to say, exercise faith, our friends. The moment you start scanning for wrong thoughts or living in low-level anxiety about attacks, you've already given them an opening. Faith plus daily loving action is the simplest, most powerful protection there is. Morning and evening, place your hand on your heart and say aloud or silently, I choose love. I walk in faith. I am safe in the love and light of the one infinite Creator. Any greeting that comes is welcome. I will meet it with an open heart and turn it into a greater light. Feel the calm certainty wash over you, then go about your day. All right.
That's great.
Thanks.
They just make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
Well, once you get enough practice, but I mean, you still get your challenges. Otherwise, life would be too easy now, wouldn't it? Oh, look at that. I reached the limit for Grok. We still got half an hour. Okay, so anyone else want to comment on this? Or should we move on? I don't know if anyone wanted to share their own negative catalyst experiences.
Well, I'll go ahead and share mine.
Sure, go ahead.
There was a time when I used to sing to the Creator, and I used it with the Gayatri mantra. First thing in the morning as the sun was rising, because supposedly you can do that safely. And I had an experience where I was filled with so much energy that I felt it was going to explode out of my head.
Wow.
And, but then the following day I went into this huge depression, and I was concerned that I might change. Maybe I had gone so positive at that point that I might flip polarity, which was bogus.
Yeah.
Completely bogus. But I can tell you that it was a bad experience. So I may have had some kind of negative greeting there, but I decided to stop because I didn't want to experience that again. And so this is a good reminder that by stopping, I actually opened myself up to even more, negativity.
Don't let the bastards win, mate. It's all about love. Like my own personal practice is I put this big bubble of love around me. Just open my heart chakra as much as I can. Complete open honesty, complete like a vulnerability. Not caring, because I know that I love them. And it has to be this pure thing inside. And then, I just try to give them a hug. Watch them run away. They can't come into that green ball of beautiful love feelings. I've had huge things like the size of a bus come down on top of me, and they still not go on the outside. I'm like, where did it go? Dude, you'll be all right, man. Don't let them win. You're amazing. Get back to it. Sing as loud as you can. Love you.
Anyway, that was my story.
Yeah, fair enough. Like last week, this Friday or last Friday, I was here with you guys, and we were on like a really good beat, and like I was singing and stuff like that, and into the next morning. And so things are doing well, and but it was a Valentine's Day, and I find that my negative greetings come through other people. Like I used to get personal negative greetings, but I find that doesn't happen so much. It usually comes through people that are close to me. And so, anyways, I had like one of the roughest Valentine's days of my whole life, and it took me like days to get over it.
Well, you never sent me my card.
No. Yeah, sorry, man. That reminds me of we were watching this episode of The Flash, and one of the characters was from another universe where their Valentine's Day was a friendship day, and so they would give Valentine's cards to all their friends. But yeah.
Anyway, can I just say, dude, like as you said that story, I would kind of just wanted to reach into the phone and give you a big hug, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Like,
Thanks. I hear you, and like I'm sorry if like I was mean on the Monday, Ashley or Fred or anyone that was there. I was still getting over the pain of that.
You know we love you.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Yeah, that will never change.
Oh, well, thank you so much, guys. All right. But yeah, see, better now. Did we want to do another one?
love you, dude. You're so cool.
Thanks. All right. Yeah. Yes, cool. I have a question from T. He says, in Dr. Michael Newton's book, Destiny of Souls, he references levels of spiritual advancement, 2 through 5. After these are levels 6 through 9, which refers to ascending masters. Do these correspond in some fashion to densities as described in Law of One? If not, how and why are they different? Thank you for any clarification Kuo can provide.
We are Kuo, and we thank you, our brother, for this question. As the third density being moves upward in their journey through the various layers and sublayers and sub-sublayers and so on, within the band of reality that is the third density, there is a progression through lessons and expanded awareness that have echoes with and corollaries to the higher densities, the fourth and fifth, and so on. But in our understanding, this particular system of gradation and nomenclature applied to those beings in this work is that which this author, in working with those of the inner planes, has devised, and is not necessarily that of working through the higher densities. Rather, these are differentiations of progress within the time space or inner planes realms of your third density experience. For there is, even within this one density, a great spectrum of experience, including those which you have identified in your question. And as the entity moves forward, whether in the incarnational experience of those who live strictly within the inner planes, they also move upward, and with accompanying greater awareness and greater ability, greater capacity to channel the love and the light of the one creator and express mastery as well in their experience of their own native realm.
All right. So
That's kind of the way that Aaron described things, wasn't it? He described like being an inner planes guide in that kind of exact way, that you do go through the densities, but they're not described the same way Ra does, because they're like the inner plane densities rather.
they're the sub densities. Yeah.
Who'd you say describes it like that?
Aaron, you know the book that was Aaron and Quo, like channeling together.
Yeah,
He's like a
he's an ascended
disincarnated Buddhist
master.
monk. Yeah, he's ascended
He's-
master. He's like a 300-year-old Buddhist monk that guides people on the inner planes.
Mhm.
All right, I don't know him.
Yeah, it was in the
Heard of
it was part of the LL research channeling. Oh right, this one doesn't work. Okay, so what I remember from that, and now it's been many years since I've read that material, but they were talking about how they really did seem more like a sub-densities, and so but it could be also related to regular densities. Basically, they were saying the majority of people in the soul world were like their spirits. They looked either white when they were very young, and then they might look orange when they were slightly more mature, but the majority of them were yellow, which would be like, third density. And there were very few green, and they said that the green were usually healers, and then the most advanced people were like shades of blue, so like fifth and sixth density. I don't remember them mentioning anything higher than that. Those were already considered exceptionally rare, the blue ones. But make
Good material though. If you guys haven't read it, seriously the Quo Aaron stuff, I really quite enjoyed it because it really kind of brings a very Buddhist or Eastern kind of take to the law of one material, and it kind of bridges the gap quite a lot, which I really quite like.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now tell us about the Michael Newton color spectrum or evolution thingies of souls. Okay. So here, first of all, okay, the bands of reality within the third density, there's a progression through lessons and expanded awareness. Third density is not spiritually shallow. It contains layers, sublayers, and interplane realms with immense dense diversity of experience. The seeker may advance greatly without yet transitioning into a new density. Echoes of higher density. There is a progression that have echoes with or corollaries to the higher densities. Spiritual systems may resemble one another because truth reflects itself across levels. However, resemblance does not mean equivalence. Interplane advancement can mirror higher density qualities without being identical to them. Yeah, so that would make sense because, like, obviously these are third density entities, and so just because their soul looks, white, doesn't mean they're first density or like orange. It just means they're kind of like beginner souls, and then it's like by the time they're yellow, they're kind of like halfway through. This particular system of gradation is that has devised. Spiritual taxonomies are interpretive lenses. It's still working on that. Echoes of higher densities. Okay. Mastery means greater capacity to channel love and light. Greater awareness and greater ability, greater capacity to channel the love and light of the one infinite creator. Advancement is measured less by titles and more by capacity. Here we go. Okay, so white, see beginner core. Off-white, grayish white, tints of pink. Level 1, still 1, okay. Level 2, white and tints of pink. Level 2, light orange, yellow tints with white. Level 3, yellow. Level 3, deep gold, yellow tints of green. Level 4, green, brownish green. Light blue tints with brown green. Level 5 is a deep blue. Level 5, deep blue tints of purple. And higher levels, purple. So there you have it. So Newton explicitly adds the range beyond level 5 refer to ascended masters who do not appear to be incarnating, so his information there comes mainly from subjects' observations. Okay, well, there you go. So I think that would be like wanderers or whatever.
Well, it's like a sentence in the last paragraph says these are differentiations of progress within the time, space, or inner planes realms of your third density experience.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it's like there's third density souls, but third density souls are at different levels of progress. Okay. You know, we're not all just purple or white or whatever. Okay. Do we got time for another one? I guess we got time for one more. Gary, yes, cool. I have a question from a reader abroad who has had a unique experience, and in brief, I will share this experience and then ask their question. They, last month, went to work one day, and their day ended with them in the hospital. Yet they emerged recognized as a hero by many, having saved lives by stopping an assailant armed with a knife on a train that made an unscheduled stop. This story was publicized around the world, and the individual asks, because my understanding of the Law of One, I wonder if you can help me ask our Brothers of Light, Kuo, during a session why this happened. It seemed like a mission, a humble message of love. Did our planet itself feel that love, even in the midst of danger? I did not hate the attacker. Instead, I sent him love while protecting others and myself.
I am cool and aware of the query, my brother. We would say to you that because of your great desire to be of service to others, that you chose pre-incarnatively, you chose to do whatever was necessary at the moment, great or small, many services, a few services today and tomorrow. So when the attacker was on the train that you were on, the chance to serve presented itself in a way that it had never done for you before. And you rose to the occasion without any hate, but only love. And you saved a life that it cost you an injury to your physical vehicle. And we say to you that the entire creation rang with joy. Not only that you saved a life, but there was no hate in your heart. This is a service that is of the highest order, for you risk your life for another. You're in miniature, the one known as Jesus the Christ, who gave his life that we may all know that life does not end. We are all eternal beings. But that is not so well known in the third density illusion by the majority of your entities. So you moved as you could move, the most helpful, inspirational, full of love and light. And we thank you, our brother, for your gift of love and light.
All right. Cool.
We can probably do the next question. I mean,
yeah, I don't know if there's much to say on that.
yeah, the lesson to me is whatever you do, if you don't have hatred in your heart, then it's good. Even if you're having to, shoot a couple people or save a life or whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, cool. I have a question regarding service and how one might better organize their life towards service. In that, I'm wondering about how helpful or how much service to others one can accomplish, or how much one should emphasize their service to others in terms of service to one other self versus, say, what one operates out of a sense of love in trying to have opportunities of inspiring fellow seekers through, say, a written book, or through, say, such media where one may be approaching many people in a more scattershot methodology, if that makes sense. So from service of one person to service in a group setting such as this, versus or in addition to larger work that may inspire others, does that make sense, Kuo? That was quite a jumble. Okay.
I am cool, my brother, and yes, you do make sense. We would suggest that each seeker of truth, such as yourself, who wishes to be of service, use whatever talents they have, whether it is writing a book, conducting Zoom meets with large groups of people, walking down the street and seeing the child, walking alone, going home, and yet no one helping the child, walking with the child and taking it home, seeing someone to the grocery store has dropped their wallet, picking it up, giving it to them. Service opportunities surround you. It is a world full of opportunities to serve. Use your discrimination, use your desire, use the opportunity wherever it presents itself to serve as you are called to serve. Every moment you exist with the desire to serve, you serve because you are ready to serve.
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I
That's
know.
pretty self explanatory, too.
Yeah, I know. Well, like I know I've had a lot of opportunities to be of service this week. Oh, and I just wanted to share one of the ways I managed to get out of my funk earlier was to is that I noticed that I was having a narrative and that I needed to let go of having a narrative. You know, and I would just like whenever I would see it arising, me having a narrative about, you know, myself or this other person, I would just let it go. I was like, no, I don't need to have those narrative thoughts. It's just peace. And
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
helped.
you don't want to trap yourself.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
We can do the next question.
Sure.
I mean, these are just
These are freebies. Yes, cool. How does one resolve the conflict in the heart when there are so many seemingly opposing forces? It's a time of dynamic cataclysm with much to lose, much to gain, involved in this catalyst of opening the heart. How is time a factor in bringing the light to obscurity? What are the remedies to ending the suffering of the heart?
I am Kuo, and I'm aware of your query, my sister. We would suggest that you answer your own query. Uh-oh. You retire you retire to the state of meditation and you look at the heart of your problem to determine how to serve the heart of others. And see this as your lifelong question, not of a moment, but of every moment that you live. And then, when you have meditated to your satisfaction, then move through your daily round of activities with this desire to serve from your heart the best of your ability. And use your intuition to determine what services are presenting themselves to you. For the chance to serve is all around you. You swim in a sea of opportunities to serve.
Mhm. Thank you. No further query. Um, yes, cool. How important is it to form positively oriented social memory complexes at this time on the earth? And why is it, if so, why is it important?
I am Kuo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. Forming social memory complexes is the work of third density so that various portions of the one infinite creator may bind themselves together by the love of the one infinite creator and see the creator and everyone around them, so that they may help the creator know itself in a more advanced form, what you call a social memory complex. And we would suggest at this time there is a social memory complex forming upon your planet, formed of seekers such as gathered here today. All over the planet, there are these types of seekers that are beginning the foundation stone, shall we say, of the fourth density of love and understanding, and will move forward as individuals when they drop their bodies and walk into the light of the fourth density. What's interesting about that to me is the last sentence of the first paragraph where it says they may help the creator know itself in a more advanced form, what you call a social memory complex.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of interest. That's kind of a concept I haven't really thought of or come across yet. The creator knowing itself through the social memory complex.
Yeah.
It would go to reason through the social memory complex totality and what other else levels.
Mm-hmm.
At every stage, dude, is all just the creator knowing itself.
Right. Well, even our higher self is something the Creator knowing itself. You know.
Yeah, I read once. I think it was I think it might have been the Voices of Venus, and they describe it as the higher self being that is closest to the day spring of existence or day spring of creation or something like that. Being like, your higher self is like right there, standing right next to God. I really like that. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And the Creator is experiencing that. I think that's the end of the session.
No, that's not the end of the session. Is it?
It is.
It is the end of the session.
We got a closing statement.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess maybe we might as well close then. I mean, read the closing statement. But or we could do this.
We thank you, my brother.
Go ahead.
I'll just finish it. We thank you, my brother. Is there another query at this time? I am Kuo, and we thank each of you, whether you ask a query or not, for blending your energies of love and light with each other. These energies are seen throughout the creation, as all groups such as these create light and love that moves in symphony and synchronicity with the one infinite Creator. We thank you for your beingness, for your love, for your light. And at this time, we shall take our leave of this group, thanking each, as always, for being a portion of the Creator that helps each other portion of the Creator to know itself as the Creator. Adonai Vasu Baragas.
Very good. Very good.
And so it is written, and so it is done.
Yes, yes. So there was this, are positively forming on Earth.
So we're kind of screwed for material for next week.
No, we're not. No. I found here. Where was it? Oh, I had it open somewhere. This is it. Here it is. Well, we'll do this one next week. This is the recent channeling from Ashley and Ed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Guides viewers on a transformative journey through the interplay of love, authenticity, and spiritual evolution, starting with a powerful fourth density love transmission to align with higher vibrations. It explores the importance of learning the planetary throat chakra to amplify truthful communication and inner harmony, then delves into how embracing authenticity is key to navigating higher densities and connecting with the infinite Creator's true expression. Viewers will learn to release external pressure and societal expectations, discovering how living authentically unlocks profound personal gifts and spiritual support. By weaving together energy healing, self-empowerment, metaphysical insights, this discussion offers a roadmap to align with one's highest purpose while fostering resilience and inner light, making it a valuable resource for those seeking deeper self-awareness and spiritual growth.
Hey, can you put that link in the comment?
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, this is the draft one. I just spun this up in a few minutes before, but I'll have a better link and a better draft.
Okay. Well, it's got the transcript.
Yeah, it's got the transcript. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yeah, and I'll probably transcribe several of them. See, I made chapters and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Is this the whole thing? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Adonai. Yeah, it ends with Adonai. That sounds like that's the whole thing. So we might be able to do more than one session next week. So I'll get more of them transcribed.
The earlier ones are short.
Oh, okay.
Like the earlier posts are very short because I broke up single sessions that were like 3 hours to 6 hours. I would like years and months go by, more of the posts longer, the podcasts get longer.
Fair enough. Yeah. It seems like that's what happens at the LL research too. They get longer over time.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
goes from 10 minutes to, an hour and something.
yeah. Was this one of the earlier ones? Here.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
that's from like 2023, I believe.
oh,
That
okay,
was
okay.
before I even,
Oh, okay. Here,
that was
maybe
before I
this is
connected with Fred.
okay.
And
Okay, okay. So maybe this is the one that I was thinking of then. Okay. This video explores the profound intersection of ancient energy practices, spiritual growth. This is from 020826 here, and it's 47 minutes long. And so it's got offering insights into how geometric structures like pyramids channel energy for transformation, principles of energy manipulation. Here's the chapters: pyramid tool use, fourth density, pyramid structures, energy shaped pyramids, a lot of pyramid stuff, gratitude, energetic fluctuations, soul lessons and themes. Or, if you guys have another one on Sunday, we could do that one. Meditation, progress, gratitude. So get some live feedback.
there's, I would say you could go to, these definitely aren't like LO research structured. Um, so you could go through any of the ones that are longer than 20 minutes. There's
Mm-hmm.
some interesting things about, for example, like mantra that I think this was El Lima that came through with a message about a mantra that corresponds to the first, second, and third distortions, which was super interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have Om, and that's like the primal sound of creation, but then there were others that were mentioned, one for each distortion,
Cool.
which is cool.
Yeah,
So
I'm.
I mean, it is possible to go from the older ones, but just maybe the longer ones.
Mhm. The longer, older ones. Okay, fair enough. I'm still kind of working with my AIs and stuff to get better transcription and getting things to fit together nicely. Like I have one that is supposed to detect the question and the answer so that it can do the chapters based on the actual questions. I just haven't
That's,
gotten around to getting everything together yet.
well, no rush. I mean,
Mhm.
there's tons of. I know we haven't exhausted all 50 years of LO research material, so
That's true too.
you can find more of
Mhm.
LL's stuff to go through for sure. There's no rush uh,
Mhm.
to read any of the channelings we do.
Well, I did. I think it's if I can share for 30 seconds of your time here. I made. I managed to make a refinery thing to make little videos. There. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, there, and then it starts to loop, I guess. But anyways, so I managed to generate that with.
Cool.
So I just asked. So I made a refinery, and so in it, I asked an AI to give a 30-second post about loving God or how to love God, and
Mm-hmm.
then I have another stage that generates the audio. And then I have a stage that transcribes the audio with timestamps. And then I have a stage that cuts it into 6-second sections.
That's a
And
tongue twister.
and then I have a stage that generates images for each of those sections, and then it puts it all back together. So I'm hoping to have like little explainer videos for Confederation teachings and things like that as well in the future.
Wow, what a beautiful service.
Thank
That's
you.
cool.
Thank you.
That's cool, dude. There's a lot there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
if we're having like a, kind of like comparing what we've been up to, I think I invented a new magical symbol, or I don't know. But has anyone ever heard of the hieroglyphic monad or the hermetic seal of London? John D. It's like a symbol that's got all of the different planets in it. But I've just kind of redone it, yeah. So now it has the new planets in it too,
Oh, okay.
and they all fit perfectly. Is that straight?
Nice.
So there's like Mercury, Venus, yeah. Then you got the Moon, the Sun, Earth, yeah. Then you got Jupiter and Saturn, yeah. Right,
What's the cross? Is that Earth?
yeah, the cross is Earth, yeah.
Yeah.
But I worked out that the thing that they've added is the Tau cross. So instead of just being a normal cross here, you've got like the little bits on the edge. Like, so then that makes, if you flip it round for the next octave or whatever, next sept, whatever, yeah, then you've got Uranus there, yeah. Then if you include the top part of the cross, there you've got Neptune, yeah. And then if you cut off that bit, that gives you Pluto.
Oh, okay.
Can you see that? Come on.
Yeah, it's cool.
That hasn't changed since like John Dee's 1640 or some shit. Come on.
All right.
Sounds brilliant.
Yeah. So
I'm happy.
I have to go. So as I found you, I leave you in the infinite love and infinite peace of the infinite creator within you and all around you, my friends. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the infinite power and infinite peace. Adonai, Vosbragus. All right. End of the live stream. You guys can say chat